welcome to the American Dream Connection. I'm Amy Atkins. This is Mike Meena and Jason Renno. We are here to give you the play-by-play on what is happening in mortgage lending and real estate. And today we're going to be talking about a mortgage credit that we offer. Mike, Jason, let's touch on that because this is really important for people to know that this is available.
It's not a mortgage credit, it's a tax credit. So when they apply for a loan as a first-time buyer, many of our buyers, depending on their income, will qualify for a first-time buyer tax credit, which is 20% of the interest that they pay on a mortgage. So, Jason and I were talking this morning about how significant it is now with interest rates rising versus where it was before.
100%, yes. I mean, we've hit 5% with the bond market selling off again today. We could be over 5% here in the very near future. So 20% tax credit, where if you just do the simple quick math, I know it's not an exact calculation, but if you take, say, 5.25, knock off 20%, now you're down to 4.2. That's a big difference. That's interest rates where we were at a year or so ago. Especially for the first-time home buyer getting into the market with prices now that have gone up over the last 6 months, it makes a big difference. And then qualifying also helps a lot. So that person who was qualified for $500,000, now prices have gone up. They don't think they can buy that $525,000 house with the tax credit. They're able to qualify at the lesser payment, and it's a big deal. It's going to become very much more relevant, if you ask me.
And this is an annual tax credit. It's not a one-time thing. It's like, oh, wow, gee, you're going to get a tax credit. So here's how it works really simply, okay? We get a $500,000 mortgage at a 5% interest rate. We're paying $25,000 in interest. We get them the certificate that gives them a 20% tax credit. So that $25,000 in interest turns into $20,000. They give a $5,000 credit, boom, comes off your tax line. So if you're going to get a $1,500 tax refund, you'll get a $6,500 tax refund. It's fantastic. It's the best thing on the market.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, it's a big deal, especially because right now we're seeing, rental and prices, like we've talked about, rentals have gone up, but still most buyers, where if they're renting now, they're seeing a significant increase from, say, they're renting at $2,000 a month. Now they want to go buy that $450,000 house or $500,000 house. They're going to see an increase in their monthly payment, and this really helps offset it.
Can they find this anywhere? Can they walk into
No,
any
geez,
lending?
they only find it here at Augusta Financial. You should know that. There's like 2 lenders in the whole Santa Clarita Valley that offer this. So that's the great part. That was, one of the keys to having Jason come over here. He's like, oh my God, you guys are kicking my butt with this. And we're like, yeah, we are. Thank you. We enjoy that. But now he's here and he's on our team and he can sell it too. So whatever. Here's something that was interesting to me. So the other day I'm at a client's office and she's like, oh yeah, I've got this buyer. I'm trying to get them to you, but they want to go with their bank. And I'm like, okay. I says, well, tell them about the first-time buyer credit. She goes, what's that? And I said, well, I've told you 6,311 times. But for the 6,312th time, I'm going to tell you what it is. She goes, oh, okay. So she texts him and she says, you can get a credit. That was it. I says, no, dude, what you got to do, dude, because I call chicks dudes. I says, what you got to do is you got to tell them it's a 20% tax credit. What's the mortgage amount? And it was like, no, that's enough. I don't want to harass him. Harass him, you were going to save him $4,000 or $5,000 a year for the rest of his life. But she didn't want to harass him. Harass him.
Yes, definitely harass. It is a big deal. And even just separating ourselves from other lenders or other big banks that aren't doing this. I had a client call me on Saturday afternoon saying, hey, another big bank, they don't answer the phone on the weekends. I need the client pre-approved. The client filled out our online application. We got over the pre-approved letter. They submitted the offer. And it turns out our rate's the same as the other bank, which is pretty normal. Interest rates, we're not, curing cancer here. But then once we add in the tax credit, because the tax credit goes up to $116,000 worth of income in the LA County for a single person. The borrower's making about $80,000, single person, utilizing a VA loan. So now he's down at 4.5% rate, no MI, and then plus the tax credit. The guy's effective payment's going to be based off somewhere around 3.75%, give or take 3.8, with the tax credit, and then it really sets us aside or sets us apart from the other bank offering them the same rate that we can offer them, but now we're going to add in the tax credit. And another thing, one of the biggest questions that agents have been asking me since I've been promoting this is, well, does it take longer to fund? And it's no. It's once the loan's approved, while we're gathering the borrower conditions, the escrow conditions, making sure evidence of insurance is in, things like that. We submit the loan in for the tax credit, and it's 48 hours, and we get it back.
48 hours.
We do this quite often, so we know what we're doing. We're submitting a good package into the organization, and we're getting the tax credit within a couple days, and it's not delaying closings. We're still able to close in 30 days or less. and the borrower's saving thousands of dollars.
Yeah, walk into your bank and try to get a tax credit. That's all I can say. It's not going to happen, okay? They don't know. Remember, they were tellers 2 weeks ago. I know you guys love when I say that, B of A. But they were tellers 2 weeks ago, and now they're your loan officers. There's some good loan officers at every bank. But again, they don't need the same licensing that we have to be able to qualify a person for a house. And you know what? It's just kind of how they set it up after the whole little Dodd-Frank fiasco 2008. We don't want to talk about 2008. So what else do we want to talk about here, Ing?
Well, who can get this program? I mean, geographically, if people are watching out there, who can
Anybody
get this?
from California?
Anybody from California. Okay, so that's good to know.
I mean, that's buying out here locally. That's a California credit that we have.
Okay.
There's an LA County one, there's an LA City one, there's a few different ones. Some of them run out of money from time to time, but right now they're fully funded. One has funding through 2020. The other's going to go probably through the early part of next year. So right now we're fully funded for the full state.
So if you want to take advantage of this tax credit, you need to call these guys so you can put your information in there and take advantage of this, because it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, why wouldn't they do this?
Yeah, it's definitely a no-brainer. It's definitely something that if you as a buyer or a real estate agent referring buyers and you don't have your lender looking into this, then you're just doing yourself or your clients an injustice. And it's definitely, like Amy just said, a no-brainer for sure.
It's a no-brainer.
First-time buyer is a person who has not owned a property in 3 years. That's a first-time buyer. So I owned a house till 2014. I'm good. We're 2018. I owned a house till June of 2015. We're good until 2018. So we're in great shape.
So if you're out there and you're on the fence, and I know we talked about the fence last week, but
Yeah, I ripped
I
my
still
pants
hear
on.
you ripped your pants on the fence. I still hear people out there going, I don't know, I think I'll wait. I don't know. Don't wait, because interest rates are still great. I mean, we're looking at 5.5. Historically, they're still amazingly low.
Incredible.
Incredibly low. And you know what, job numbers, we're looking at a really low unemployment rate. It's the lowest it's been in a very, very long time. And the private sector added 230,000 jobs just last month. So
Yeah.
things
Well,
are looking good.
Like we touched on, I mean, rates are going to hit 6 before they go back down to 4. That's
Correct.
for sure. So I mean, waiting is 5%, 5.25% on a 30-year fix is still an amazing.
And I
rate
remember
long
telling
term.
people 7 is heaven and 8 is great, because I remember when rates were 9, 11%. So, and people were still buying real estate. So we really thank you for watching. You guys, if you have any questions, reach out to us. It's Meena Renno Lending.com.
Hey, you got it right this
I
time.
said it without stumbling on the words. It's a tongue twister. You can also check us out on Facebook and all the other sites out there on social media. Give us a like, give us a share, because someone out there that you know needs to see this information and needs to hear it, because it's time to buy a home. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.